Hello, and welcome back to Laura's Plans. So it's week 2 of subject number 2, A5 rings in the Great Planner Experiment. And this video, we're going to go over what went well in week 1, what adaptations am I making, and go ahead and set up this upcoming week so that you can see how I'm doing things in the ring system and what I like. I'll be able to tell you what I like and what maybe I don't like so much. If you're new here, the Great Planner Experiment is something that I cooked up this year because I don't want to go into the planner launch season and into 2023 with the same problems I experienced in 2022, which were just never finding the right fit because I was constantly, having those magpie moments, or I was trying to find my fit in new planners. One, because I'm in a very different phase of life. I'm only planning for myself and my husband. The children are no longer my responsibility, I guess you could say. They're in college. So yes, they're still my responsibility, but I don't have the planning that I did when they were growing up. And so my needs have changed. Also with work, things have changed. I have a different position, and what I need and what I don't is very different as well. Plus, technology helps a lot. Just saying. But anyway, I dreamed up this experiment because what I found was over 2022, I purchased a lot of planners in Magpie Moments after watching someone use them and liking what they did on YouTube, or looking at a planner and saying, oh, it's beautiful, I'd love to try that. And I did. But I never really found my own process or my own methodology, so to speak. And so in the Great Planner Experiment, I am taking a very set criteria and methodology and applying it to every single planner I purchased or used in 2022 in order to kind of keep myself from making those same choices over and over and over again, or same purchasing patterns over and over again. So if this is something that interests you, I hope you'll stick around. If you want to see some of the back videos in the series where it explains it a lot more, or you see what happened with subject number 1, please feel free to take a look at the channel. All those videos are there, and they're all titled The Great Planner Experiment of 2022. So with that, I think it's time to go ahead and flip this around and get started for June 27th through July 10th in my, this is June 20th through, who knows? I'm just going to flip it around and we'll get started. See you in a minute. All right, let's dive right into it. So obviously, major change was made with the size of the planner. Basically, what I'm realizing is, although when I was utilizing an A5 planner more in the past, this big Moturn cover was wonderful because I had lots of papers or things that I needed to keep in the planner for my family and I, or because of work. Now, that's not really the case. Work is pretty much 100% digital. I am only keeping things on hand for myself or my husband, and even that has taken on more of a digital role. So my planner doesn't need to host all sorts of things. And these are wonderful binder systems, but I will tell you, they're big. And if I move into a planner like this, a ring system in the 2023 season, or utilize one again in the future, I think that I'm going to have to decide if I want to invest in a cover that isn't quite so prolific. Like, I don't need all the pockets. I don't need all the space. And so something that's a little slimmer profile, I think would make me very happy. Let's talk about how things went for the week. They were phenomenal. I have to say, I had an epiphany moment, and I shared this with Karen on a phone call that we had earlier this week. For years and years and years, I've been utilizing the bullet journal system, and one of my biggest things is I could never get past my need to compartmentalize that book. And I love the bullet journal system, but the idea of a free-flowing, rapid logging style where you just turn the page to put in whatever you need works great for many people, but for me, it doesn't. I am an organizer. I am a compartmentalizer. I like when everything has an exact home to go to. I should know this because my spice rack is organized. My pantry is organized with very distinctive places for things. My clothing is organized by style, use and color. You name it, everything has a place to be. And that is how my brain works the best. And in the bullet journal system, I would always struggle and fight against that. And my epiphany or aha moment was because of that, I was constantly looking at different things. So when I got into this book, I realized, or this system, it gave me instantly a sense of joy and comfort because every little piece had its home. And for some people, what I'm doing right now, like flipping all over the place, might drive you nuts. It doesn't drive me nuts at all. In fact, I enjoy flipping through these sections and looking at what I'm using. I haven't changed much as far as structure. I will, when we get to where I have made changes, let you know. But other than trying to find a slimmer profile cover, I really haven't had to do much. It's just working. So my inbox, I really didn't touch this week. I did create a YouTube inbox, which I did touch, but as far as home and work, I didn't really need it because I was able to put things where they needed to go right away. On the monthly, I did move my habit tracker and my sleep and step log to the front so that I could quickly flip to it and know exactly where it was at. And right behind it is my monthly calendar. This is working beautifully, as well as the ability to future plan on the actual months upcoming. And if it's something that's tentative, I write it in pencil. If it's definitely set, it goes in black ink pen. And I never have a problem with black ink pen because that's the color I like to use. Every time I try to go to a different color to write in, I always go back to black. So I'm giving into that. On my weekly, I will say I did make a change. This is the weekly that I used last week, and it was fine. It's just that it didn't really fit as well as I wanted it to. I wanted a little more room to be able to do things. So I went through, let me put all these pieces of ephemera that I have off to the side. I went through, this is my ring binder template notebook. And so basically when I print off printables, I'll put them in here and you can see like there's a month, a this week, a daily, plus it has like extra tab dividers that I've picked up over the years, extra pieces of paper and stuff, but it keeps it all organized because yes, I like things organized. Anyway, it has a bunch of different templates that I can come in and grab whenever I need. But I went to the weekly section and I had some options on the weekly section. I had the week that we saw, I used last week, which is perfect when it's kind of a busy week and I don't have a lot of time. Then I also have a Hobonichi style, which is a week on 2 pages. And I just didn't want to have to do a lot this week because it is going to be a busy week. Then I have one of my favorites from Paper Test Design, and this is the Rachel Weekly. But when I'm using a timed daily, like a daily with a time bar, I find I don't need everything that's on here. So I didn't use that one, but then the one that I did use is this one, and I needed to put this back here. This is another paper test design option, and it is a week on 2 pages, but it's a little cleaner and not as much, like there's not that hourly section for like time tracking or time bar tracking or whatever, because I don't need it when I have the timed dailies. So that's what I did, was I just pulled this out from there. It's paper test design. It gives you your week overview on one side and some additional sections in the other. I section this off so that I have my scheduled appointments for each day on the left-hand side and my ideal workout exercise plan for the week over here on the right of the page. One of the things that did drive me a little insane, not really even insane, because I figured out something to do pretty quickly, is when I am getting close to writing on this side of the page, close to the rings, I figured out that I can just pop these out because I've slit them, but I slit my dashboard as well. And by using this paper clip, it kind of makes it like I have a writing board so that I can go in quickly, add that in, and it gives it just a little bit more structure when I'm popping it out and in. And because you worry about bending the pages and ruining them or whatever. So that helped. And plus I use this side to record the least amount of information. Over here, as the week goes on, I'm going to pick my top 3 priorities and goals when I do my reflection tonight and pop them in. I do have a to-do list for unscheduled things. Like I don't know when I'm going to get certain things done. And so I do have that started, and I'll add to it. I have my menu plan for the week already listed out. And these are not day specific. I just kind of grab them when I feel like making that thing. I have a to buy list, which I missed horribly last week. And I could have gone and created one on one of these back pages, but my brain likes to have a to buy list on the weekly dashboard. That's where I like it. So coming to this layout made me very comfortable. I have a section for notes and then just a weekly habit tracker. And I did change up some of the habits or routines that I'm trying to see how I do this week. So that's my week on a page, or week on 2 pages. And then my dailies. Oh, I love these dailies. If you guys watch my previous channel or videos from this year even, you'll know that I love a time bar on a daily. And this daily page allows me to capture everything I want to capture. I used it every day with intent. I was able to focus my intentions and get things done that I needed to get done. I recorded the information that I love to record and want to record on a daily page. I was able to make it my own. And it was nice because I don't have to worry about coming in and building this each day. It's already built. I just have to fill it in. And I was able to play on days I had time to play, and on other days when I didn't. And so it worked so well. I am just absolutely pleased with this. It made my life a lot easier. And as you can see, like I set up 2 weeks worth. So I put in all the marker, I put in all the little boxes, my meal, and my 3 little highlight sections at the bottom. And it's nice because if I want to zhuzh it up, I can zhuzh it up. I can add some washi tape or sticker. If I don't want to, I don't have to. And that is priceless. But it has everything I love to have on a daily page, and the structure and organization. Love the idea of a running rapid log. It works so beautifully for so many people, but for me, this is how my brain functions best. When I am able to take the structure and adapt it like I need to or want to, and there you go. there you have it. I can look at this page and walk through everything that went on in that day. I have the notes that I need, the quick notes. I have what I was able to accomplish, and I'm able to use that as a reference later on if need be. So I'm going to continue with these dailies. I have to tell you, I'm super excited. There's a lot of room, and one of the later experiments is going to be a personal size ring, which is truly downsizing. But I wanted to give it a try because I did purchase one of those smart fees at some point this year, and I never really jumped into it, but I want to give it a good honest try to see if I can take what I'm doing here and downsize so that I make a conscious choice moving into 2023 if I want to put investment into a thinner, less bulky planner cover or system binder, or if I just want to maybe downsize to one that I already have that is functional, but I don't know if I can truly function in the personal rings. So we'll have to see. So the dailies worked beautifully. My scribbling section was perfect. I think I used I only used like 3 pages. So that's really nice. I will say my personal journal hasn't gone anywhere. I am still journaling in my personal journal systems. I don't consider those planners, so that's not something I worry about. I have my morning journal, and then I have my big memory keeping journal, diary, ephemera collector, whatever you want to call it, that I touch when I need to. But this is the one that I carry with me and touch the most. And it's stream of consciousness writing, and it's where my intentions go. It's where I capture all those things that I need to capture, where I just let my brain release whatever it needs to release. And these are for my eyes only. I don't keep them. They get destroyed after a period of time. And the journal that I do keep is my memory journal, and I generally have one of those a year. So anyway, that's that. So just an update. And this is in a chic sparrow. I think this is a Ketchum leather. I do believe it's Ketchum. It's so old, guys, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. I mean, it has a contrasting stitching in the chic sparrow logo. This is old school chic sparrow, but I love it. It's in a wide size. It's one of my favorites, and right now I'm using a Moleskine wide, so it works. So scribble section worked. My work section worked beautifully. It was nice to have my project planning sheets again, because I have a couple new projects that are starting up. So there's a list of things I really have to get done. I can't share those with you, but they are what they are. I can show you a project planning sheet. It lists the project's name, my start and end date, the objectives. I brainstorm things, details I need to get done, and then I can list out the tasks for that. And I generally will follow it up with a sheet of paper, dot grid or lined or whatever, it doesn't matter, to kind of catalog all of that. But especially on project startups, I like having a brainstorming page, and that's what this is. Those are not things I necessarily have to keep. I can go ahead and shred them later, because everything that I do here ultimately ends up in a digital environment. But I do need that breakdown for my own processing methodology. So work is working, and having work in here is working, which is nice. I did include a couple more lists. My currently reading list and a wish list for rings. I put that in there, but everything else has remained the same. And yeah, this is it's just working, you guys. Several of you have told me that you're doing this with me, and several of you have found some aha moments as well during the first experiment. I have to say, Karen gave me a great idea. She is using this time as her own experiment, and She has some that she's going to be trying that she owns, like planners and systems that she owns. But there's a couple planner systems that she's interested in. And so what she's done is go in and either print off or recreate the layout in a notebook for her experiment to come. And she is using those to see if she likes the layout so that she doesn't make a purchase before she's sort of tried it out. And I thought that was brilliant. And it's something that I may end up doing when I'm in that B5 size notebook. That's a really great idea. So Karen inspired me with that. And I think I'm going to try that methodology as well. A couple of you asked questions like, why am I doing this? Am I trying to go only into one planner? Yes and no. Really, the impetus for this experiment was to stop the pattern that I found myself in, where I would be in a planner for a few weeks, a month, and then I would buy something new because it wasn't working. And really what it came down to was understanding the methodology that I need to have the ability to do in a planner, and being able to identify, like the aha moment I have here, that compartmentalization and organization and structure make me happy, but I like the ability to move and shift and change things as I want. And the creative aspects of the journaling that I used to keep all together, I really have separated those out at this point. And my planning system is more functional for me, and my creative environments are different now. And so change, right? Phases of life, changes, things like that have led me to a point where I needed to analyze what worked and what didn't, so I didn't do the same thing next year. I bought planners every month. And when I look back at that and I see A, the consumerism of it, B, the waste of natural resources of it, C, the financial impact of it, I mean, that money could have been spent on a gorgeous leather cover for one system. And I mean, I could have gone and gotten the expensive stuff, right? Or I could have used it to do some of the things I want to do in my home office. I could have done that. So I am trying to use this experiment to A, give myself the knowledge moving into 2023 of what works and what doesn't, so that I don't go through this cycle of consumerism and purchasing and attempting and not being happy. I don't like that cycle. And so that's why and how this experiment started. Is it working for me? Absolutely. And for some of you as well. I love knowing that some of you have tried this and said, wow, this really made me see blank. And that's why I'm sharing this. The experiment was concocted, after a thought and contemplation on it and reflection on it. And honestly, it kind of came up in my morning pages journal. Like, I really need to figure out what works and what doesn't, so I don't keep this cycle going forward. And that's how the Great Planner Experiment started. And I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. Do I love this planner? Yes. Am I going to have a problem letting go of it at the end of the week? Well, I don't know. If I start begging my husband to give it back to me in a few weeks, we'll know, and I'll be sure to capture it on camera. But for right now, I'm enjoying getting the chance to really, really, truly focus on a system, analyzing what works and what doesn't, and then coming to a conclusion if it's a possibility moving forward, or if it's just something I need to let go. Enjoy watching the YouTubes and seeing other people use it, but know that it's not going to work for me. Not at this time, anyway. So that's it for today. It's been a long one. I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for all of the comments and all of the participation. I will say, I am going to make the announcement at the very end. The 2 weeks have it. So my Great Planner Experiment will have a every 2 week change into planner systems. We are currently in the A5 rings. Next to come at the end of this week will be a traveler's notebook system in the wide size, which those of you who don't know, wide or A5 slim is what it's generally called. That is what I had the most of and had thought about utilizing this year very seriously. In fact, I even set some notebooks up. So we're going to go with that next. And after that will be the Erin Condren Daily Duo and Life Planner combination. So that's just a spoiler of what's to come. It should be interesting, especially after what happened with the Moxie Life. I'm wondering if that Daily Duo is going to make a difference when it comes to coil bound. But for right now, I have to say, this little love is making me very happy, and we'll see how things go this week. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful Father's Day weekend. Happy Juneteenth, and I will see you next time.